Welcome to Truth or Fiction Classified. I'm your host, Justus Knight, and on this broadcast, we cover today's headlines that beg the question, are they truth? Are they fiction? Or will the answers simply remain classified? Okay, my friends, it's time for some straight talk. This article that came out today just put together so many of the puzzle pieces that have recently been in headlines about China's attack on the United States. They have infiltrated us. Let's call a spade a spade. What now? This article on your screen from BBC News titled, F-35 Jets, U.S. Military Grounds Entire Fleet. They're blaming us on the crash recently, just last month in South Carolina, and a fuel line failure that needs to be replaced. Faulty fuel tubes, to be more specific. But isn't this just unusual timing that it comes a day after this article published in the Western Journal and statements made by President Trump? Make American weapons great again. Trump wants no more Chinese parts. Great. Well, let's read just a little bit of his statement. In order to maintain America's military supremacy, we must always be on the cutting edge, Trump said in the statement. But that's not what this article was truly about. If we go down further, this is about our fragile infrastructure, our supply chain infrastructure, our military infrastructure. Down here, it states, specifically, that means reducing the military's reliance on Chinese-made products. What a novel thought. Let's not have our number one enemy provide products for our own defense against our number one enemy. It took how many years for this to be pieced together? Of course, when we've been being sold down the river for so many years, secrets provided to China that we just keep brushing under the rug because nobody wants to prosecute the guilty parties. Well, now, how deep does this go? How much danger are we in of China being able to take over our very military, our very defense against them? I digress. China was mentioned 232 times in a 146-page report, which is largely classified due to its frank discussion on America's supply chain vulnerabilities. China is virtually the only producer of certain chemicals that are necessary for the production of various bombs and missiles, meaning those weapons could no longer be produced if something were to change or disrupt the current supply chain. We just grounded fighter jets. Now they're saying that our missiles and various bombs can only be produced using a chemical that China provides. How long were we going to rely on our enemy to provide us the products, the missiles, maybe the ammunition, the fighter supplies, the mainframes, the hardware that defends our homeland? This isn't the first time. This all stems out, I believe, from an article disclosed on Bloomberg Business Week, which I covered in a broadcast earlier. This was about little mini microchips that were found in servers across our country, affecting 30 top companies. Because China implanted this little bit of software you see here, or hardware, I apologize, in mainframes, in servers, in our computers. The article down just a little bit lower, and I want to read this. This is important. One country in particular has an advantage executing this kind of attack. They're talking about spyware attack in long and short. China, which by some estimates makes 75% of the world's mobile phones and 90% of its PCs. Still, to actually accomplish a seeding attack, these little microchips, would mean developing a deep understanding of the product's design. We find out later that these had to actually be implanted prior to arriving here. This was thought out. This was planned. This was a coordinated attack. And by who? Just go down a little bit further, but that's just what U.S. investigators found. The chips had been inserted during the manufacturing process, to officials say, by operatives from a unit of the People's Liberation Army. In Supermicro, the name of the company that brought in these chips, China's spies appear to have found a perfect conduit for what U.S. officials now describe as the most significant supply chain attack known to have been carried out against America's companies. Supply chain again. the process of bringing goods into our country or moving goods throughout our country that now turn out to be manufactured by public enemy number one, American enemy number one, China. But let's sit back. Let's ignore the scandals of the Clintons. Let's ignore the missing hard drives. Let's ignore everything that's been brushed under the rug. Let's give them more time to burn out all these servers so we can't find the information of who sold all this secrecy to China. Oh, there's been plenty of previous regimes involved in this attack. But we're going to continue to go. Pentagon banned sale of Chinese phones on U.S. military bases. This was just 5 months ago. We knew about it. They banned all phones sold on military bases because they were produced by China. Guess why? Because there's spyware within those phones. Or there could potentially be spyware. My friends, the potential is gone. This is our reality. Our reality is that we are under attack from China. We have been for a long time. This is almost a year ago, U.S. Army reportedly bans Chinese-made drone, citing cyber vulnerabilities. I am furious that this continues to be swept away like it's no big deal. That this article isn't on every major headline across the United States of America, because, my friends, it isn't when the war has started. The war has started. They have infiltrated us. They control our servers. They control our information flow. They control our infrastructure. They control our supply chain. And now it turns out they control our military. But let's sit back on the scandal. Let's keep pushing it aside and pretending like it doesn't exist. Let's get engaged in this Democratic and Republican war. Because we're going to go ahead and continue to push our country towards globalism. Because that's a great idea when the globalists have proven nothing but their want and desire to crush us, to make us not exist, to take our very American way of life, to assure that none of us, you or me, have no freedoms left. And these articles have gone to prove it. Ban of all Chinese cell phones. Hacking our 30 top companies. Make America Chinese free. Yeah, you think? Because now we've ground fighter jets. And I don't think this is going to be the last of the issues that are brought to light. Because I think there's many more to come. I think this goes far deeper, as this report even declares, than anybody wants to disclose, because of how bad they have infiltrated our very supply chain. And that is what we need to be woken up to. This is what we need to be writing, our congressmen, our senators. We need to be electing the right people in this upcoming election to assure it's those people who want to stop the Chinese influence in America. Because if not, you better be learning to salute a different flag. Because if we don't stop this, this is exactly where it's going to be heading. There is nothing more significant than a war on our country. There is nothing more impactful than these articles. I'm fired up, folks, and you need to be too. You need to make sure everybody you know reads just these articles alone. Let them read the Bloomberg report. Let them read Make American Weapons Great Again. Let them read the Pentagon banning cell phones. Let them read the U.S. Army banning Chinese drones, and assure that this globalist agenda, this communist agenda, this socialist agenda is stopped in its tracks before it's too late for our children, our grandchildren, and every single American. This has been Justus Knight. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. If you haven't subscribed, I certainly hope you will. There's much more to follow. I'm going to be taking a brief break next week, but I'll be back the following week. I need to cool down from this article for a while. Need to collect our thoughts. We need to get this message out to everyone. And I rely on you to do that. It's important to share these videos if you believe what the message inside them are. And this message, I'm not even going to go with truth or fiction. This is truth, 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 and truth. And we need this truth to wake everybody up. God bless. Godspeed. Justus Knight. Until next time. Signing out.